Very warm welcome to RPTV. I'm joined by the familiar faces of Nick Watts and Graham Rodway. Well, after we all had disastrous Cheltenhams, it's time to recoup at Aintree. Of course, it's John Smith's Grand National here. And, right then, gentlemen, Nick synchronised the Gold Cup winner. Can he go on and win this one?
No, he can't, in a word. No,
okay, that's that, right?
No, I can't see him. I could see him getting round, but what I can see happening is him getting too far behind. His style of jumping is, well, as we've all seen, is patchy to say the least. He managed to get over that at Cheltenham, obviously win the Gold Cup, so he's certainly good enough to win it. But Aintree, you have to get in the rhythm. It's a real rhythm track. The fences come thick and fast, they're big, they're tall. Even with all the amendments to them, they still take some jumping. And I think synchronised is just going to be too ponderous, and I can see him getting quite well behind. And to try and win Grand Nationals when you get quite a long way adrift is difficult, because there's always carnage in front of you. Horses falling, there's a good chance of getting brought down. And they always go a fair pace in the Grand National these days, so I think synchronised, if they do give him the go-ahead, I just see him struggling, especially on the first circuit. I see him getting a long way adrift and just having to work so hard in between the fences to keep up that it's just going to, it's just going to be too much for him.
There's an element also, John Joe Neal's touched upon it, that he had a hard race in the Gold Cup, and that could have left his mark for obviously 4.5 miles. There's no hiding place here.
Well, definitely. I mean, you remember after he won the Lexus, he missed a race in Ireland, which was going to be his Gold Cup prep, because they said he'd taken a long time to get over the Lexus. So you'd imagine that he would have taken quite a bit out of himself at Cheltenham, because again, he had to work really hard in between the fences to get in a challenging position. And he's going to have to do it all over again over a longer trip. He's going to be an amazing horse if he can do it. I can't quite see it.
Okay, then. Well, looking at the other protagonists, Graham, and you totally hate the lot of them, to put it politely. Prince Teboshan, Junior, Ballabriggs. Come on, tell me why they're not going to win.
I mean, it's a pretty easy race, really, Ted. Just knock out the first 6 in the betting, because they've all got absolutely no chance. Assuming this is going to be a fast Grand National, it's absolutely blazing sunshine outside. I can't have Prince Teboshan. All his best forms on soft ground. I know he did win at the track last year and good, but I think he's better also on soft. Junior, I don't think will jump well enough. Ballabriggs is up £10 from last year and would take an awesome performance to win it again. Sunny, old boy, surely won't get round. Burton Port's also I don't like very much. I think he's massively overrated. And Western Rocker is slow, really such a slow horse, and needs really a bog to have any chance of winning this, and I can't see it being a bog. So yeah, that's the first 6 or 7 out of the way. There's some good value below those, I think, Ted.
Okay then, well, looking at the value now, that's set in stone. Come on then, gents, we'll start with you then, Nick. Where would be your first pick here? We're going to go 2 each versus the rest of the field, so what would be your first selection?
Well, I really fancy a Welsh winner of the Grand National. I think it's going to be Wales' year this year. We had T for 3 at Cheltenham. They just won the Grand Slam rugby, and I think they're going to win the Grand National too. Capper Bleu, I think, has got an excellent chance. Really pleased to see Paul Maloney come out last week and say that he would want to ride Capper Bleu should he make it ahead of Deep Purple and State of Play. That was a vote of confidence. And his 3 runs this season have been really good. I think it's proved that he's back to the kind of horse he was, or that Evan Williams thought he was after he won the Fox Hunters a few seasons ago. Had his Grand National prep run at Ascot, and again I thought he ran an absolute stormer. Massini's Maguire won the race. Really good class handicap chased that, and Ascot takes a bit of jumping. His jumping was flawless. And Maloney again rode a really good race on him. He sat off the pace, and he's come there to win it over the last 2. And yeah, he didn't quite get there. Probably just needed slightly more fluent leap at the last, and he might have got there. But I think his Grand National prep scale, I think it was fine. I think he'll stay the trip really well. His jumping, to me, he did have a fall in the Hennessy a few seasons ago, which was a slight concern. He's not the most experienced, but I've studied his races this season. His jumping generally has been excellent.
Looks like he's improved in that
So
department.
I can't see him failing on that point. And he does have a bit of class, he always has done. So, he ticks a lot of boxes for me, Capper Bleu.
So, Capper Bleu around the 20-1 mark there then. Graham, what would be your best bet in this race?
I bet Capper Bleu. I like Capper Bleu a lot. I agree completely with what he says. I think he ran a great trial last time out. I think he's the most likely winner. But he has been cut across the boards now. He's plenty short enough, I think. And there's a couple of others that I think offer a bit more value. Killy Glen is also that I saw running last year's National, and someone asked me what will win next year's National straight after the race. I said Killy Glen, and I haven't really seen a hell of a lot to put me off, because I like to see these horses that are laid out for the race. There's no doubt that Killy Glen has been done so. I'm expecting a fast ground National, as I've already said, or at least on decent ground. And Killy Glen, all of his best form comes on top of the ground. And he's got good form at Aintree. He's won there in the past. He won the novice chase a good few years ago now.
3 years ago. Touted as a Gold Cup horse at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was when he was with Howard Johnson. He's in Ireland now. I think it's Shane Crawford or Sean Crawford. I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but hopefully we'll know his name when this horse wins the Grand National.
Okay, well that's that one. I'm going to push you for a second selection then, for one with a bit more value. Perhaps.
Another Irish one, I think, because I couldn't see.
Okay, yeah.
I backed it last year and it came down at the second. But ever since I saw this horse run in a race in Ireland, when he absolutely hacked up by 30 lengths one day, I can't remember who it was, a few years ago, I thought, God, this horse jumps well, and he looks typical national, so he goes off in front. Then his next run, he come out and he ran at Cheltenham Festival and finished second in the 4 miler. And was only really outstayed towards the line. But again, went out in front, jumped fantastically, looked to have the race, won. And did much the same in the Kim Muir last week behind Sunny Hill Boy. Went out in front, jumped beautifully, appeared to have them all in trouble, and then was just caught near the line by Sunny Hill Boy. But to be fair, Sunny Hill Boy is a really well handicapped horse that day. But I can't really understand why, because I couldn't see came down at the second last year, because to me he's an absolutely fantastic jumper.
Perhaps bad luck.
It may just have been bad luck. I think he's definitely worth another chance. He looks an absolutely ideal Grand National horse. So you send him out in front. He's very uncomplicated. He should jump away. I know he didn't last year, but there really is no reason why he won't jump well. And if you get any trouble in behind, which you do often in Grand Nationals, as Nick has already alluded to, I could see him easily getting out, clear on the lead. It'll be very difficult to beat if he gets into a nice rhythm up front. He didn't get into that last year, but let's hope that he does this year. I think 25-1 is a good bet.
Okay, then, so that's Killyglen, and because I couldn't see for Graham. And Nick, going to push you for a second selection in the race?
Yeah, I'm going to completely take on G-Rod and say I don't think West End Rocker is out of this by any means.
He's going for size in Europe.
2 of his 5 wins have come on good ground, so I don't think it's essential that he has a bog. And I think when you're running over 4.5 miles, I don't think any horse really wants a bog. You know, and the point is about Aintree.
It's a stamina enough test in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And with health and safety concerns at Aintree now, they never have a Grand National. They never will have a Grand National ever again that's raced on too fast a ground. If Mother Nature doesn't intervene, then I'll make sure they water to produce good ground. And, you know, this was an issue for me in Silver Birch's year. It was a really, really hot day, and I thought Silver Birch, you know, a bit of an old plodder, would want softer ground than he did. And I thought his chance had gone on the morning of the race, but he kept up fine, no problem at all. And that tends to suggest to me that even if the weather is hot during Aintree week, they will splash plenty of water on there. And I think it'll be fine for West End Rocker. We know he loves the fences there, and we know he's going to stay. He's always had a fair amount of ability. And he's not a sexy horse, but he's solid. He is very solid. I don't necessarily subscribe to the fact that he needs a bog. I'm not sure any horse would want that at Aintree.
Okay, and I think agree to disagree is the term there. I'll quickly throw in my 2 bets of the race. Number 1, Nick Seabass keeps winning, and I think he just keeps improving. He can improve again.
Well, he won over 2 miles last time, a graded race over 2 miles, so he's obviously got a bit of speed as well. And yeah, Irish until recently have had a great record in the race. Ted Walsh won it before, so not discounted.
Not putting me off. Okay, and G-Rod, my other one I'm going for is the Tasties winner on his own. I just think the record of this race is brilliant. Like a Hedge Hunter, number 6 Valverde, seems to have been forgotten about.
It's weird, right? Because I thought on his own, after he won the Feisties, was going to be really well fancied for the Grand National. I actually thought on his own would be the Prince de Beauchesne. I thought he might even be
Ruby Walsh should be jumping away.
Yeah, Ruby might be on it, and then suddenly Prince de Beauchesne come out of the woodwork, and on his own has been forgotten about. He's a forgotten horse.
Well, we've dealt with those at the top of the market, but we're going to say why the ones lurking below can't win. Beginning with Treacle, you're not getting stuck into him then, Nick. No. Price-wise selection.
Very good. He could win. He ran a great race in the Lexus. Owner going for a weird double there. He owns Masked Marvel, who won the Ledger last season. Be a hell of a year for him if he could own the national winner too.
It would be. Okay, we'll leave him alone then. Chicago Grey, Graham, why can't he win?
Yeah, don't jump well enough. Next.
Okay, Calgary Bay, Nick.
Fell last year, not sure he really wants 4 miles forward, and I'm not sure he's the most resolute. Everything needs to go his way, and it doesn't often in the Grand National.
Okay, Shakalaka Boom Boom for Nicky Henderson, Graham.
Well, he's got a ridiculous name, hasn't he, for a start, but I can't see Shakalaka Boom Boom be good enough. I mean, beaten by Calgary Bay last time out. Don't fancy Calgary Bay either.
Okay then, Giles Cross for you, Nick.
Potential to go very well, needs soft ground. Victor Dartnell has talked about rerouting into the Irish National in search of softer ground, so not a definite runner yet for anyone fancying Giles Cross.
Okay, it's the biggest race of the year, Graham. We haven't mentioned Paul Nicholls. He's got one representative, Neptune Collonges. Any chance?
Well, it's a strange, Jules, because when he was younger, Nicholls used to say he wants really soft ground, but now he says he wants really fast ground. I can't make the horse out. He's got quite a lot of weight.
He's getting on as well.
And he's getting a bit older. I don't fancy Neptune Collonges for big weight.
Okay, Planet of Sound, Nick?
Yeah, got the class to get involved. Philip Hobbs had a second a few years ago with What's Up Boys.
Surely don't jump well enough, Watson, surely.
Probably doesn't. He's not on my radar, but he has the class to run well in it should he pick his feet up. I mean, he's a Grade 1 winner at Punchestown, ran well in the Hennessy. Could run well, but will need to take to the place, and whether he will or not, who knows.
Not a better proposition. Okay, and finally, last year's beaten favourite, the Midnight Club.
Yeah, he was well fancied last year, and I don't think Ben Hutton's given up on him yet. He was a big fan of him last year, but he's been a bit disappointing since. Was disappointing last year, and I think he's about the right price.
Okay, great stuff.
Club as they race uphill towards the final 100 yards, and Trafford Lad and Andrew Lynch from on the near side, Leanne and Brian Cooper as they go towards the line. Leanne is just going to get up to win a thriller. Leanne beats Trafford Lad, the Midnight Club back in third. Cool down.